Welcome to Subramani. Obviously, in a different location. I'm at Bolgati Palace in Kochi, attending a friend's daughter's wedding. And I met one or two big investors, and I realized one thing that we are now very, very obsessed with dividend yields. I'll talk about two things. Largely, when we were younger, we bought bonds for dividend yields and equity for appreciation. We never bought equity shares just for the dividend yield. That used to be a very good indicator saying, okay, it cannot go below a particular price. Largely, it served as a bottom. For example, if you buy Coal India at 150 rupees, that seems to be the bottom because of the dividend yield of 6 to 8% that you can look at depending on how much the next year's dividend is going to be. Or even at 160 rupees. So you say, okay, this is the bottom, therefore it's worth buying. Or at 150 rupees when you buy State Bank of India, you say it can't go below this. Or at 30 rupees when I bought Tata Power, I said 5% dividend yield, it can't go below this. But however, it's a topsy-turvy world where people are buying bonds for appreciation, hoping that when interest rate changes, the bonds will appreciate. And or people are buying equity shares for the dividend yield. For example, people think ITC is a great dividend yield share. I'm not getting into ITC, but let's talk about Coke. Say Coke used to give a 3% dividend yield. When Coke gives a 3% dividend yield, you look at it and say, well, 1.7 is what I can get in treasury and 3% is what I'm getting here. This is fantastic, right? Similarly, when somebody looks at Coal India and say Coal India gives 7.5% return, then the logic is to say, oh, 6% is what I get on gilt, so 7.5% in Coal India is fantastic. So I will buy Coal India. Now let us understand let's go to the very basics. When you buy an equity share, you are looking for 2-3 things. You're looking for dividend, of course, but you're looking for earnings growth and change in the PE. If you buy a share for just the dividend, it means you are ignoring the change in the PE possibly and the growth in the earnings. If these two things do not happen, then you are looking only at dividend yield, and at some stage that might not be too great. Typically, if you bought an ITC because you think you're getting great dividend yield, that's good. But when you were, I know people who are buying even at 300 rupees for the dividend yield. At 200 rupees, it's even more attractive, and at 170 rupees, it was even more attractive. But if you are forgetting that the other two components are equity growth, income growth happening in the company, and the change in the PE, remember, one of them can completely offset all the so-called dividend yield that you are looking at. What if the PE of the company fails or falls? For example, Coke has already done everything on earth, right? Now it can perhaps not do anything far new or very efficiently. So what is the great scope for the change in PE in Coke? It's very unlikely. As earnings will grow and therefore it will pay more dividend perhaps, and PE may not change, but the EPS growth is not going to be something very attractive for the market to price it. So in Coke, you're not going to get too much of earnings growth or whatever inflation plus 1% kind of growth, and there is going to be no change in the PE. Yes, the dividend yield is going to be attractive, but that attraction might stop soon. Now, when you go back and see how you have earned money, you will realize that some of the growth stocks that you bought, which paid perhaps no dividend, for a long, Berkshire Hathaway pays no dividend. For a very long time, Microsoft did not pay any dividend. The question is, are you ignoring growth and change in PE just for the dividend thing? Don't be over obsessed with the dividends. I am not saying dividend yield is not a good way to spot a share. It is a good way to spot a share, but it does not mean it is the only way to spot a share. Or you fill your portfolio with dividend yield companies. The advantage of looking at dividend yield companies today at this price, at this junction of the market, is that the market is definitely overpriced. Now, in an overpriced market, when you look at dividend yield, your cushion becomes very heavy because you know that the increase in PE is not going to happen, and in many cases growth may not happen. So let us take the case of ITC. If the popularity of ITC is high, it is today because of the dividend yield. But what the main money that ITC makes is from tobacco. What happens if tobacco sales keep falling, or if the government of India decides that tobacco is paying too little tax, let us tax it a little more, right? We are very likely to tax the organized tobacco because we have no capability and no guts to tackle the unorganized tobacco. So we will claim that cigarettes cause cancer, etc. I'm not even getting into all those controversies. So it will never be seen as a very positive company, right? So will it qualify for ESG? Will people buy it? I don't know, but it is for you to decide. But what is the probability that the earnings growth for ITC will be high, and there is a possible change in the PE? I think the probability is low. So if all your money is coming from tobacco, and all over the world people are worried about tobacco not being something great, and it does not fit into ESG, it may find itself out of favor in many such portfolios, and therefore there might be an excess of ITC shares in the market. What can ITC management do? If they think it is underpriced, they can do a buyback. Perfectly all right, but nothing much beyond that. Now you take companies which are not paying dividend but which have had high growth. You take companies like, say, Bharti Airtel. For Bharti Airtel, all the value in that company came through the growth, right? So it did fantastic growth, and that at that stage it was not paying any dividend, right? So but where you earned was in the increase in EPS and therefore change in the PE, right? So that is where you made most of your money in, say, Bharti Airtel or any of those shares which are high growth and therefore non-dividend paying company. A company not paying dividend is not bad news. A company not paying dividend means the company has a lot of need for the money. Now, when you are a Colgate, when you are a HUL, when you are a ITC, the chances are you don't know what to do with the excess, and therefore you are getting rid of it by paying a dividend. I'm not against dividend, I'm not for dividend, I'm just saying don't get over carried away by any one thought saying, oh, all my shares should only be dividend yield. May not happen. Some of it could be growth and some of it could be dividend yield. Whatever suits you, whatever suits your company, make your portfolio accordingly. Thank you.